Aisha pulls on a jagged piece of bone with all her might. It's lodged deep in the scavenged carcass, and extracting the sinew is proving difficult. Her thin arms work overtime to pull it free, but the animal remains firmly stuck. With a grunt of effort, she manages to clear some of the gristle, revealing a thick strand of sinew that will make a decent bowstring. This will be their first meal in 2 days. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to survive the Stone Age. The tribe of 9 people moves as one unit through the tall grasses. They are small in number, but together they form a formidable force. Their leader, a grizzled man named Turan, scans the horizon for danger, his eyes narrowed against the glare of the sun. Behind him, the others keep a close watch on their surroundings, their hands resting lightly on the spears at their sides. They have been on the move for several hours now, and their destination is nowhere in sight. But they travel light, carrying only what they can on their backs, and that includes all of their worldly possessions. It has been 2 days since their last meal, and hunger gnaws at their stomachs. But they press on, driven by the hope of finding something, anything to eat. The sun beats down on them mercilessly, and their bodies grow heavy with fatigue. But they cannot rest. There is no time for that. Not when they are in this desperate state. Aisha watches Turan closely, trying to read his expression. He is the leader, and it is up to him to guide them through this harsh and unforgiving land. But even he seems unsure of what to do next. They come upon a watering hole, and the children run to fill their skin with water. The adults remain wary though, for this is a place where danger lurks. One wrong move, and they could be attacked by predators, or worse, other tribes who are just as desperate for food and water as they are. They drink quickly and move on, hoping that the worst is behind them, but they are wrong. The worst is just beginning. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon, the tribe huddles around a small fire. They have managed to scavenge a few berries and nuts, but it is not enough to satisfy their hunger. Turan looks up at the sky, his face creased with worry. In the vastness of the night sky, he sees the stars that have become their only source of hope. They tell him they must keep moving, that there is food somewhere ahead, but he isn't so sure anymore. He feels like they have been wandering aimlessly for weeks, and his people are starting to lose hope. The ground is hard and uncomfortable, but they have no choice but to lie down and try to sleep. Aisha snuggles close to her mate, drawing comfort from his warmth. She knows that if they don't get their strength back, they may not survive the journey. She thinks of her children, and the thought gives her the strength to go on. She will not give up. She will not let them die. In the morning, they set out again, their bodies aching from the cold and hunger. They have nothing to cover themselves with, no blankets or furs to keep them warm. They are at the mercy of the elements and the unforgiving terrain. Turan stumbles and falls, his ankle twisting beneath him. He cries out in pain, but quickly recovers. He cannot afford to be weak now. He must be strong for his people, for their survival depends on it. Days turn into weeks, and the tribe grows weaker with each passing moment. Their skin becomes taut over their bones and their eyes hollow. Turan collapses and dies. His body is left where it falls, a grim reminder of the harsh reality of their existence. Aisha steps forward, her eyes blazing with determination. She will not let Turan's death be in vain. She will carry on for him, for their people. She gathers the others and tells them they must keep moving, that there is food and water ahead. They trust her, and together they set out into the unknown. Their journey takes them through dense forests and across open plains. They fight off wild animals that try to steal their food, and defend themselves against rival tribes that want what little they have left. They are outnumbered, but they fight back with the ferocity of those who have nothing left to lose. They use sharpened sticks and stones as weapons, and their courage is their shield. One day, they come across a cave that is filled with the bones of animals that have died there in the past. Aiza knows that these bones are a source of nutrition, but she also knows that they will need more than just bones to survive. She tells the others to gather the bones while she goes off to find food. She is gone for days, and when she returns, she has something that brings a smile to their faces: food. She had found a patch of wild berries that were ripe for the picking. The berries were sweet and juicy, and they provided the tribe with much needed sustenance. It wasn't much, but it was enough to keep them going. With their strength slowly returning, the tribe decided to stay in the cave. They made it their home, and they lived there for many months. It was a hard life, but they were alive, and that was all that mattered. But then the rains came. The cave began to fill with water, and the tribe was forced to leave. They wandered once again, this time in search of a new home. They had to move fast, and they had to move as a group. If they were separated, they would be easy prey for the predators that roam the land. Asha's son, Tao, is killed by a wild animal. She cradles his lifeless body in her arms, her heart breaking. But she knows that she must be strong. She has to be strong for her daughter, who is now an orphan. She tells the others to bury Tao, and then she leads them away from the scene of the tragedy. She doesn't know where they are going, but she knows that they have to keep moving. The tribe comes across a river, and Asha knows that they can't cross it. The water is too fast and too deep, but she also knows that there is a cave on the other side that will provide them with shelter. She tells the others to wait for her, and then she swims across the river. She finds the cave and leaves a pile of rocks near the entrance. Then she returns to the others. Using the rocks as a guide, the tribe makes their way to the cave. They are exhausted, but they're safe. They set up camp inside the cave, and Asha keeps watch over her people. She hasn't slept in days, but she won't rest until she knows that they are safe. One day, one of the members of the tribe, a young woman named Maya, disappears. Asha organizes a search party, and they go out looking for her. They call her name, but there is no answer. They find her lying on the ground, and she is dead. Her body is mutilated, and it's clear that she was attacked by a wild animal. The tribe is devastated, but they have to keep going. They can't stay here any longer. Asha leads the remaining members of her tribe on a long journey through dense forests and across wide open spaces. They are alone now, and they have to rely on each other for survival. They hunt wild animals for food and gather berries and nuts to supplement their diet. They sleep around a fire, keeping watch for predators that prowl in the darkness. Weeks turn into months, and the tribe continues to dwindle. More members fall victim to the harsh conditions, and the survivors are too weak to bury them. Asha is the last member of her tribe. She is alone now, and she is too weak to go on. She collapses and dies, her body lying on the ground surrounded by the bones of her people. And that is the story of how Asha and her tribe survived the Stone Age. It is a story of courage and resilience, of hope and despair. It is a story of life and death in the most inhospitable of environments. It is a story that has been told and retold for centuries, a story that has become a part of our collective memory. It is the story of our ancestors, the story of how they survived the Stone Age. This is a brutal African savanna. The unforgiving sun beats down from above, and the earth beneath is cracked and dry, stretching as far as the eye can see. Life here is tough, and only the strong will survive. Our story today follows a pack of hyenas as they make their way across this harsh landscape in search of food. Hyenas are often seen as cowardly scavengers, but in reality, they are powerful predators in their own right. They work together in packs to hunt down prey, taking down animals as big as zebras and wildebeest. And when there's nothing to hunt, they will scavenge whatever they can find. That's what this clan of spotted hyenas is doing. They have found some remains left behind by another predator and are now working together to dig it out of the dirt. The midday sun is at its most intense, and the air shimmers with heat. The hyenas are thirsty and hungry, but the heat is making it hard to move. It is a constant battle between their need for food and water and the desire to rest in the shade. The ground is hard and dry, and the hyenas have to work hard to find anything to drink. But they are persistent, and eventually they find a small pool of water. It's not much, but it's enough to help them survive another day. As the sun begins to set, the hyenas leave the watering hole and head back to their scavenging. The remains they found earlier is buried too deep to get at, so they decide to try and find something easier to access. As they move through the tall grass, their keen senses alert them to the smell of blood. It's a fresh kill, and the hyenas are eager to find it. They move quickly, their powerful legs carrying them over the rough terrain. Their eyes are sharp, scanning the landscape for any sign of their prey. In the distance, they spot a lone zebra, its body torn and bloodied. It's clear that the zebra has been dead for some time, but the hyenas don't care. They rush towards their meal, their hunger driving them forward. The zebra is a welcome sight after days of searching, and the hyenas waste no time in starting to eat. They tear into the carcass, their sharp teeth and claws ripping the flesh from the bones. The sight is both gruesome and impressive, as the hyenas work together to take down such a large animal. As the hyenas feast, they are unaware that they are being watched. A pride of lions has seen them find the zebra and are now stalking closer. The hyenas are oblivious, though, and continue to eat until the lions decide to make their move. The hyenas are driven away, but not before they have had their fill. The lions are the true rulers of the savannah, and the hyenas know better than to try and fight them. They retreat to the safety of the tall grass, where they lick their chops and prepare for the next meal. But the lions are not finished with the zebra carcass yet. They move in and begin to eat themselves, leaving nothing for the hyenas. This is the circle of life on the savannah. The hyenas may be strong and powerful, but they are not the top predators. They must be willing to scavenge and steal in order to survive. And even then, there is no guarantee that they will come away with a meal. The hyenas are forced to move on, and they soon find more remains to scavenge. A lone giraffe has been picked clean by vultures, but there is still something left for the hyenas to eat. The giraffe bones are hard and difficult to crack, but the hyenas are persistent. They gnaw on the bones, trying to get to the nutritious marrow inside. It's not an easy task, but the hyenas are patient and eventually they succeed. They crunch and swallow the bone fragments, getting every last bit of nutrition they can from their meal. As the night wears on, the hyenas continue to search for food. They are driven by hunger and thirst, and they won't rest until they have found something to eat. They move through the darkness, their eyes shining like green embers in the moonlight. Their ears are perked, listening for any sounds that might lead them to a meal. The wind whispers through the grass, and the hyenas follow the sound, hoping it will lead them to food or water. Their persistence pays off when they find a small herd of impala grazing in the moonlight. The impala are unsuspecting, and the hyenas move in for the kill. They are careful not to make too much noise, and they get close enough to launch their attack. The impala are fast and agile, but the hyenas are relentless. They chase the impala through the tall grass, their bodies sleek and powerful. The game is afoot, and the hyenas are determined to win. They finally catch up to one of the impala and bring it down. The impala struggles, but the hyenas are too strong. They tear into the impala, their sharp teeth and claws ripping the animal apart. The impala squeals in pain and fear, but there is no escape. The hyenas eat quickly, their hunger driving them to consume as much of the impala as possible. They tear the impala's body apart, eating the most succulent parts first, and saving the bones for later. As the hyenas eat, they are aware that they are being watched. The lion pride from earlier is watching them, waiting for them to finish so they can come and take the leftovers. The hyenas know this, and they eat quickly, trying to finish the impala before the lions make their move. The lions are patient though, and they wait until the hyenas have had their fill. The hyenas finish the impala quickly and then run away, knowing that the lions will come and take the rest. The lions move in and begin to eat, their roars echoing across the savannah. With the impala carcass picked clean, the hyenas have another go at the half-buried remains from earlier. Working as a team, the hyenas are able to pull the remains out of the ground and start to feed. The scavengers tear into the carcass, their powerful jaws and sharp teeth tearing the meat from the bones. The stench of the rotting meat fills the air as the hyenas feed, but they don't seem to mind. They are focused on their meal and don't pay attention to anything else. Despite the hyenas' best efforts, the carcass is too decomposed to fully sustain them. So they move on, their stomachs growling in anticipation of their next meal. The hyenas' keen senses pick up the scent of blood in the air, and they follow it, hoping it will lead them to a fresh kill. The trail leads them to a watering hole where a herd of buffalo are gathered. The buffalo are large and dangerous, but the hyenas are not afraid. They move in cautiously, trying to get closer to the buffalo without being detected. The hyenas are patient and wait until the buffalo are distracted by the water before making their move. They sneak closer and closer, their eyes fixed on one of the buffalo calves. The calf is small and weak, and the hyenas know it would be an easy meal. Suddenly, the calf breaks away from the herd and runs off. The hyenas hesitate for a moment, but then they take off after the calf. They chase the calf through the tall grass, their bodies low to the ground. The calf is fast, but the hyenas are faster. After a short while, the calf slows down and the hyenas close in. They grab the calf by the legs and drag it to the ground. The calf squeals in terror, but the hyenas ignore it. They begin to tear into the calf, their sharp teeth and claws ripping the young buffalo apart. The hyenas eat quickly, their hunger driving them to consume as much of the calf as possible. They are careful not to eat too much, though, as they want to save some of the meat for the cubs back at the den. As the hyenas eat, they are aware that they are being watched. A pair of male lions are watching them from the tall grass, waiting for them to finish so they can come and take the leftovers. The hyenas know this, and they eat quickly, trying to finish the calf before the lions make their move. The lions are patient, though, and they wait until the hyenas have had their fill. The hyenas finish the calf quickly and then run away, knowing that the lions will come and take the rest. The lions move in and begin to eat, their roars echoing across the savannah. With the buffalo calf picked clean, the hyenas return to the den. It's been a long day of searching for food, and the cubs are waiting patiently for their mothers to bring back a meal. The hyenas drop off their leftovers at the den, and the cubs begin to eat. Despite the dangers of the savannah, the hyenas have survived another day. They are strong and resourceful scavengers, and they will continue to roam the savannah in search of food. And maybe, just maybe, they will find a meal that will keep them full for more than just today. The more we run, the more we'll get injured. We need to hide somewhere, look around. Where can we hide? What can we use as a weapon? This is the terrifying story of a traveler who found himself deep in enemy territory and being hunted by one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. Our story begins like any other ordinary day for two travelers. They had been walking through the jungle for a long time and were exhausted. They had been arguing all morning about which path to take, but eventually they agreed to take a break and rest. However, when they stopped, they realized they were completely lost. Oh my god, where are we? I don't know. I think we need to keep moving. Okay, but in what direction? To the north? Yeah, okay, let's go that way. So they started walking north, but after a while, they realized that this was a huge mistake. The forest was getting darker, and the trees were getting closer together, and they could feel danger lurking around them. What was that noise? I don't know. Let's just keep moving. Yeah, wait, I think we should take a break. Okay, but where? There's nothing here. We're in the middle of nowhere. They continued on until they saw a clearing up ahead. And so they picked up their pace, hoping to find safety in the open space. But when they got to the clearing, they found something that made their blood run cold. It was a small village, and it looked like it hadn't been inhabited for years. There were no people in sight, but there were plenty of signs that something dangerous lived here. They could see bones scattered around the village, and some of them were still fresh. And then they noticed something else. There were also plenty of footprints around the village, and they didn't look like they were made by humans. Whatever had made those footprints was huge. Let's get out of here. I agree. Let's go. Wait, I think we need to talk about what's next. I'm scared. Me too. But we need to be smart. If we run, we might get caught. We need to have a plan. They looked around for something they could use as a weapon, but there wasn't anything in the village that could help them. Whatever creature had lived here was much stronger than they were. Then they remembered the backpack they had left at the edge of the forest. One of them ran back to get it, while the other stayed behind to protect himself. But when the man with the backpack reached their things, he found something that made his heart sink. The backpack was empty. All of their supplies, including their food and water, had been taken. He ran back to tell the other traveler, but when he got there, he found that his friend had already disappeared. He ran as fast as he could, deeper into the forest, away from the village and the danger that lurked there. But after a while, he realized that he couldn't outrun the creature that was hunting him. He could hear its heavy footsteps pounding the ground behind him, and he could feel its hot breath on his neck. No, I won't be taken. I won't be eaten alive. He tried to run away, but he tripped over a tree root and fell to the ground. He looked up to see the creature standing over him, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. He closed his eyes tight, waiting for the end, but it never came. Instead, he heard the creature snarl and then run away. He opened his eyes to see the creature standing a few feet away from him. It was a tiger, and it was looking at him intently. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then the tiger took a step forward. No, please, don't kill me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to witness an extraordinary event that will redefine the boundaries of possibility and showcase the pinnacle of technological achievement. Yes, you heard it right. The first ever Robot Olympic Games is about to begin. Get ready to be amazed as robots from around the world gather in a spectacular opening ceremony. These mechanical marvels will parade into a futuristic arena, each representing their country and showcasing the best of their robotic ingenuity. The crowd roars with excitement as these advanced machines take their places. Will Team A win gold, or will Team B prevail? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the competition is fierce, and the robot-petitions, precision challenges to creative performances. These robots will push the limits of their abilities and leave us in awe of their precision. As commence, the robots will navigate a series of intense challenges designed to test their mettle. In the speed racing event, lightning-fast robotic athletes will zoom through the course, leaving a trail of sparks in their wake. Their engines revving at full speed as they compete for the coveted gold medal. The crowd cheers them on, their excitement echoing through the arena. But the competition doesn't stop there. The precision challenges will showcase the incredible accuracy and coordination of these remarkable machines. With nimble movements and unwavering focus, they'll execute complex tasks with unmatched finesse. Their metallic fingers dance with precision as they assemble intricate puzzles, their sensors guiding them every step of the way. It's a mesmerizing display of robotic mastery that leaves the audience in awe. As the games progress, the robots will face even greater challenges that put their strength to the test. In the strength competitions, powerful mechanical competitors will go head-to-head in a battle of pure brawn. They'll lift heavy weights, push to their mechanical limits, and perform feats of strength that defy expectations. Sparks fly and gears grind as these robots give it their all, showcasing the incredible power they possess. Who will emerge victorious in this ultimate test of strength? Will it be the underdog or the heavy favorite? The tension is palpable as spectators eagerly anticipate the outcome. Amidst the thrilling competitions, the Robot Olympics will also feature creative performances that highlight the artistic side of these technological marvels. Robotic ballerinas will glide across the stage, their movements as graceful and fluid as any human dancer. Their metallic bodies somehow manage to convey a sense of elegance and beauty that captivates the audience. It's a sight that seems straight out of a futuristic battle used with every precise movement. They'll add a stroke to a giant canvas, forming intricate patterns and captivating images. The crowd watches in anticipation as the robots collaborate, their movements synchronized to create a masterpiece before our very eyes. It is a testament to the limitless potential of robotics and the innovative minds that program these extraordinary machines. But the climax of the Robot Olympic Games is yet to come. The final competitions will push these robots to their technological limits, testing their endurance, precision, and resilience. In the final showdown, the top contenders will face off in a battle of wits and engineering excellence. The tension is at its peak as they execute daring maneuvers and strive for perfection. It's a nail-biting finish that keeps spectators on the edge of their seats. Will it be the sleek and agile competitor with its lightning-fast reflexes that takes home the gold? Or will it be the underdog with its sheer determination and resilience? The answer remains tantalizingly out of reach until the very end. As the clock ticks down, the robots perform with unwavering focus, determined to claim the top spot on the podium. Their metallic bodies glistening under the stadium lights, they execute their routines with precision and power, leaving the audience breathless with each move. But amidst the fierce competition, there's also camaraderie and sportsmanship on display. The robots, despite being programmed to excel and outshine their opponents, show mutual respect and support. There are high fives, digital cheers, and even friendly gestures across the divide. It's a heartwarming reminder that even in the world of cutting-edge robotics, kindness and sportsmanship can thrive. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. It's time for the award ceremony where the victors will be crowned and their achievements celebrated. As the names of the winners are announced, the crowd erupts into thunderous applause. Each robot receives recognition for its exceptional skills and contributions to the games. Gold, silver, and bronze medals are awarded to the top performers, their metallic bodies adorned with the symbols of their hard-earned victories. Team A's robot, with its unwavering speed and precision, takes home the gold medal in the speed racing event. Its sleek design and lightning-fast reflexes prove to be a winning combination, leaving its competitors in the dust. In the precision challenge, Team B's robot emerges victorious with its unmatched accuracy and attention to detail. Its ability to execute complex tasks with finesse and precision stunned the audience and judges alike. The strength competition was a nail-biting affair, with Team C's robot ultimately claiming the gold medal. This robot, built for power and endurance, showcased incredible strength and resilience, lifting heavier weights and pushing through tougher challenges than its opponents. The crowd cheers as the winning robots are celebrated for their exceptional skills and hard work throughout the competition. It is a testament to the dedication of their creators and the advancements in robotics that have made these achievements possible. In the artistic performances, Team D's robot won praise for its graceful movements and innovative choreography. Its ability to synchronize its actions and convey emotions through dance captivated the audience, blurring the line between machine and art form. The creative performances were a celebration of the fusion between technology and creativity, leaving spectators in awe of the limitless possibilities of robotics. As the Robot Olympic Games draw to a close, There's a sense of unity and inspiration among the participants and spectators. These extraordinary machines have not only pushed the boundaries of what's possible, but have also demonstrated the power of human innovation and the endless potential of robotics. The spirit of competition, sportsmanship, and the pursuit of excellence have united everyone in this unforgettable event. But the story doesn't end here. The impact of the Robot Olympic Games extends beyond the arena. It's a catalyst for inspiring future generations of engineers and scientists, encouraging them to dream big and pursue careers in STEM fields. The successful completion of such an ambitious project serves as a testament to the collaborative efforts of engineers, programmers, technicians, and researchers who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make it a reality. Their dedication and expertise have brought these robots to life, enabling them to compete and perform at the highest level. Moreover, the Robot Olympic Games have captured the public's imagination, showcasing the incredible advancements in robotics and artificial intelligence. As spectators marvel at the skills and capabilities of these robots, it sparks curiosity and wonder about the future of technology and its impact on our world. It is a reminder of how far we've come and a glimpse into the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. In the years to come, as technology continues to advance, we can expect even more spectacular and awe-inspiring feats of robotics. The success of the first ever Robot Olympic Games has paved the way for future competitions, each one pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Who knows what new skills and achievements we'll witness next? Perhaps we'll see robots competing in even more diverse events, displaying even greater precision, strength, and grace. Maybe we will witness the emergence of new robotic heroes that capture our imagination and inspire future generations of innovators. As we reflect on the incredible achievements and performances of the first ever Robot Olympic Games, let's take a moment to appreciate the dedication, hard work, and innovation that have made it all possible. Let's celebrate the incredible advancements in robotics and the endless potential that lies ahead. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey. Until next time, keep reaching for the stars and never stop believing in the power of human ingenuity and the magic of robotics. Now we know about the domestication of dogs. It happened in Europe, according to most scientists, somewhere between 30,000 and 14,000 years ago. The theory goes that people kept taking wolves in from the wild, selectively breeding them for tameness, and eventually turning them into our beloved canines. But what if this story isn't quite right? What if instead of domesticating wolves, we were domesticated by them? That's what some scientists are beginning to think might have happened. And if they're right, it could rewrite history and prove that the bond between humans and wolves is far older than we ever thought. Welcome to my channel. Today we are answering the extraordinary question, did wolves domesticate us? Let's start at the beginning. Imagine yourself as a member of a small nomadic tribe living in Europe during the last ice age. Your days are spent hunting small game and gathering berries. Your nights are spent huddled around a fire with your family group, desperately trying to keep warm in the biting wind. Life is tough, but you're surviving. Then one day, everything changes. A giant, vicious creature appears out of nowhere. Its fur is matted with blood, its teeth are bared in a snarl when it's hungry. Terrified, you and your tribe abandon your food and flee desperately toward the one place you know is safe, the Forbidden Forest. For many ancient humans, venturing into the woods was a death sentence. That's because it was home to all kinds of wild animals. There were saber-toothed cats and cave bears, hyenas, and mammoths. The chances of surviving an encounter with any of these animals were slim to none. It was a place where only the most skilled hunters dared venture, and even then they traveled in groups of up to 20 people. You aren't a hunter. You're just a regular person trying to stay alive. And now that you've been forced into the forest by this terrifying new predator, there's no one to protect you. As you run, the beast crashes through the underbrush behind you, gaining on you fast. You stumble over tree roots, fall into bushes, and scrape your arms and legs on rocks, but you don't dare slow down. You can hear the monster closing in, and you know that if it catches you, you won't survive. Finally, you spot a clearing up ahead, and you burst through the trees, desperate to get to it. When you do, you see that it's surrounded by a high wall of rock. Pulling yourself up onto the rocks, you collapse, exhausted, battered, and bleeding, and wait for the inevitable to happen. But it never does. The monster doesn't follow you into the clearing. You peer cautiously over the rocks and see that it's gone. You and the other members of your tribe survived, which is good news. But there's a problem. You are now deep in enemy territory and have no idea how to get back to the familiar hunting grounds. You're completely lost, and that's when you hear it. A low growl that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Peering into the darkness, you see a pair of glowing yellow eyes staring back at you. Then another set of eyes appears, and then another, until dozens of them are fixed on you. You're surrounded by wolves, and here's where the story takes a bizarre twist. Instead of attacking you, the wolves do something you never expected. They offer to help you find your way out of the forest in exchange for your protection from other predators. Together, you and successfully navigate the woods and eventually find your way back to your camp. Over time, the alliance between your tribe and the wolves grows stronger. You and the wolves help each other hunt, share food, and warn each other of approaching danger. Eventually, the bond between humans and wolves becomes so strong that you decide to take it one step further. You begin to selectively breed the wolves, choosing the friendliest and most docile ones to have pups. This marks the beginning of the partnership between humans and wolves that would change both species forever. In reality, this is probably what happened. But why do we think this? Well, for starters, it helps explain some of the mysteries surrounding our earliest domesticated animals. For example, most scientists agree that dogs didn't descend from a single group of wolves, but rather from multiple separate populations across Eurasia. It also helps to explain the huge variation in size and appearance among different dog breeds. If dogs descended from just one group of wolves, we would expect them to look more similar to that they don't suggest that they were domesticated from a variety of wolf populations. It also helps to explain the behavior of modern wolves. Even though they're wild animals, they seem to have a kind of built-in affinity for humans. They often approach people cautiously, wagging their tails and hoping for a friendly interaction. It's almost as if they know that humans are their friends. Scientists believe that this behavior is a remnant of the ancient partnership between humans and wolves. There's evidence to support this theory. For example, scientists have found traces of milk in the guts of ancient humans dating back 14,000 years. This suggests that ancient humans kept some kind of domesticated animal that they raised for its milk. Could this animal have been a wolf? Maybe. Wolves typically avoid human settlements and stick to the wild areas outside of town. But in recent years, scientists have started to notice changes in their behavior. Wolves have been spotted approaching human settlements in search of food. Some wolves have even become comfortable living alongside humans. He lives in a small town in Italy. Wolfie was first spotted in the town in 2011 and has been a resident ever since. He's known for his friendly interactions with people and his habit of begging for food. Another example is a wolf named Friends, who lives in a village in India. Friends is a bit of a celebrity in the village. He has his own Facebook page and is often seen walking around the village, meeting with locals and even riding in cars. These examples may seem like just quirky stories about friendly wolves, but they may actually be evidence of an ancient bond between humans and wolves that dates back thousands of years. Now, let's not forget that wolves aren't the only animals that have shown signs of domestication. There's also the case of foxes. In the early 1960s, Soviet scientists began a domestication experiment with silver foxes. The foxes were selectively bred for tameness, and after several generations, they began to exhibit many of the characteristics of domesticated dogs. They became more social, curious, and even friendly toward humans. Their fur also became lighter and their tails bushier. The experiment proved so successful that it's still ongoing today. All of this evidence points to one conclusion. Humans and wolves have a long history together, but did wolves domesticate us? Well, maybe. We know that wolves are highly intelligent and social animals. They live in packs and have a complex communication system. They're also capable of forming strong bonds with their pack mates. So it's not hard to imagine them taking the next step and forming a partnership with humans. We know that early humans were nomadic hunters and gatherers who traveled from place to place following the herds. This lifestyle required them to be constantly on the move, which would have been difficult without the help of wolves. Wolves are excellent runners and can travel long distances quickly. They would have been able to help humans travel more efficiently, which would have been a valuable asset. Wolves are also excellent hunters. They work together in packs to take down large prey, and they survive. Wolves are also highly adaptable animals. They can live in a variety of habitats and are able to hunt a wide variety of prey. This adaptability would have been an important factor in the survival of early humans. As the climate changed and food sources became more scarce, wolves would have been able to help humans adapt to these changes and survive. So yes, wolves may have helped humans survive the Ice Age, and they may have been the first animal to be domesticated, but did we really tame them? Well, maybe not. See, while wolves may have seemed like the perfect choice for domestication, scientists now believe that they weren't the only animal that could have done the job. According to some experts, ancient humans may have tamed another wild animal first, the horse. If you want to learn more about the history of humans and horses, check out my video, Did Humans Domesticate Horses, or Did Horses Domesticate Us? Until then, thank you for watching. And as always, stay curious. A mysterious plague has wiped out most of humanity, and now nature is beginning to reclaim the world. This is the story of a small band of survivors who find themselves on the run from a pack of ravenous predators across a dry, cracked plain. But when they reach their only hope for survival, they must make an agonizing choice that could cost them everything. Years after the collapse of human society, the Earth is a wild and dangerous place. Nature has reclaimed much of the concrete jungle, and pockets of humanity struggled to survive in the untamed wilderness. Our story today begins with a group of desperate survivors who are making their way across a dry and desolate plain. Behind them, the sun beats down mercilessly, and the wind whistles through the skeletal remains of long-dead trees. It's a harsh and unforgiving landscape, but the survivors have no choice but to press on. Leading the group is a grizzled man named Jeremiah, a former soldier who now fights to protect his family and the few remaining members of his community. Beside him runs Sarah, his daughter, her face streaked with dirt and exhaustion. Her young son clings to her leg, his eyes wide with fear. They are being hunted, and the relentless pursuit is taking its toll. Over the horizon, a dark shape pursues them, a creature straight out of a nightmare. Standing over 8 feet tall on 2 hind legs, it's part dog, part bear, almost. Its fur is matted and dirty. Its eyes gleam with feral hunger. It's a bear dog, a creature that has haunted the nightmares of survivors since the collapse. These monstrous canines have not only survived, but thrived in the post-apocalyptic world. Packs of them roam the wastelands, hunting anything that moves. And this one seems intent on making the survivors pay for whatever offense they have committed. Jeremiah glances back, his face grim. The creature is gaining on them. He knows that they can't outrun it forever. He turns to Sarah, his voice hoarse with fatigue. "We have to get out of here," he says, urgency lacing his words. "It'll kill us if we don't." He points towards a break in the hills ahead, a faint glimmer of hope in the distance. "There's a cave there," he says, "big enough for us to hide in. Maybe even set up camp for a while." Relief floods Sarah's face as she looks towards the hills. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be safe at last. But then a low growl echoes across the plain, a sound that freezes their blood. The bear dog isn't giving up the chase. It leaps over a fallen log, its eyes fixed on the fleeing humans. Its powerful jaws open in a silent snarl, revealing rows of sharp, pointed teeth. It bounds forward, closing the distance between them with terrifying speed. Jeremiah feels a surge of adrenaline. He kicks something small and round in the dust. It skids to a halt a few feet away, a child's toy. He doesn't recognize it, but for a moment it reminds him of the world that was. Of a time before the plague, before the bear dogs, before life became a desperate struggle for survival. But those days are gone, lost to the past forever. He looks back at the hills, the cave now a distant speck on the horizon. They have to keep moving. With a final burst of energy, they race forward, the bear dog close behind. As they scramble up the hill, Jeremiah's foot catches on a root. He stumbles, falling hard on the parched earth. Pain shoots through his ankle. He lies there for a moment, catching his breath. Sarah turns back, her eyes wide with fear and determination. She reaches out to help her father, but Jeremiah shakes his head, his face set with grim resolve. He can't let them wait for him. He struggles to his feet, ignoring the throbbing pain in his ankle, and limps towards the cave. As the survivors disappear into the mouth of the cave, the bear dog lets out a frustrated roar, its powerful paws scrabbling on the dirt. It snarls, its hot breath steaming in the still air. Then it turns and disappears over the hill, melting back into the wasteland from which it came. For now, the survivors are safe. Inside the cave, the survivors catch their breath, their bodies trembling with exertion and fear. They've managed to escape the bear dog, but they know that it could be waiting for them, lying in wait for its next attack. Jeremiah gathers his daughter and grandson close, trying to shield them with his body. He feels a surge of protectiveness, a primal instinct to defend his family at all costs. He's been fighting for them since the world turned, and he won't stop now. They spend the night in the cave, huddled together for warmth and comfort. The darkness is oppressive, broken only by the occasional drip of water, each drop echoing in the vast cavern. Sleep comes fitfully, disturbed by nightmares of the bear dog and the endless struggle to survive. In the morning, they emerge from the cave to a world transformed. The night has brought a heavy fog, shrouding the landscape in an eerie mist. The survivors hesitate at the entrance, unsure of what lies beyond the veil of white. It's a world of gray, where shadows dance and shapes shift in the gloom. Visibility is almost zero. All around them, strange shapes loom and twist, and every rustle of leaves sends a jolt of fear through their weary bodies. Jeremiah steps forward, his senses on high alert. He knows that they can't stay in the cave forever. They need to keep moving to find somewhere safer, somewhere that the bear dog can't reach. But where? The answer comes in the form of a dilapidated sign half buried in the sand. Jeremiah bends down and brushes the dirt away, revealing faded paint and peeling letters. "Welcome to Gator Creek," it says, the words a mocking reminder of a world that's gone. Behind him, Sarah lets out a nervous laugh. "Great," she says, "a swamp." She looks around at the oppressive vegetation that surrounds them, the thick undergrowth and the tangled vines. What could possibly be in there? She asks, her voice tight with apprehension. The last thing they want to do is enter the swamp, a place where danger lurks in every shadow, where the very ground seems to be alive with unseen horrors. But they have no choice. The bear dog could be close behind, and the swamp is their only hope for hiding, for disappearing into the maze of trees and water. With a deep breath, Jeremiah leads the way into the swamp, his daughter and grandson close behind. The air grows heavy, thick with the smell of rotting vegetation and stagnant water. Strange insects buzz and flit around them, their bodies a blur in the dim light. Every step is a challenge, a test of their endurance and their will to survive. The swamp is a battleground, and they are the prey. As they plunge deeper into the murky depths of the swamp, the survivors realize that they are not alone. Strange sounds surround them, the snap of a twig, the splash of something large moving in the water, the croak of a distant frog. They move silently, like ghosts in the mist, their footsteps muffled by the thick mud. Then they see it, a clearing in the trees, a small patch of dry land surrounded by a ring of gnarled cypress trees. In the center is a dilapidated wooden shack, its roof caved in, its walls rotting away. It looks like a refuge, a place to hide, but it could also be a trap, a place where the swamp's inhabitants lie in wait for unsuspecting prey. Jeremiah hesitates, his hand hovering over the knife at his belt. He can't shake the feeling that they're being watched, that every rustle in the trees is a sign of danger. But the clearing offers them shelter, and shelter is what they need most right now. He nods to his daughter, and they move forward, their eyes scanning the trees for any sign of movement, any hint of the danger that may lie ahead. As they approach the shack, a large shape stirs in the trees. It's a bird, a heron, its long neck curving gracefully as it takes flight. With a beat of its wings, it disappears into the mist, revealing a world teeming with life. A world where nature has reclaimed the land and where the only law is survival of the fittest. This is the story of a world reclaimed by nature, where dense vegetation has swallowed abandoned highways, where animals roam free and the remnants of humanity struggle to survive. This is a world where danger lurks around every corner and where the line between predator and prey is razor thin. Will our heroes be able to survive the perils of the swamp and make it to the other side? Or will they become another cautionary tale, a whisper in the wind, a memory lost to the encroaching wilderness? Stay tuned to find out. What do you think? Did saber-toothed cats stalk their prey, or did they use a different method of hunting? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hi, it's me. Today we're going to look at how saber-toothed cats hunted their prey. But first, let's look at Kale's discovery story. Kale stumbled onto the narrow strip of land, collapsed onto his knees, and retched. Poisonous gases spewed from the swamp behind him, hot, thick, and reeking. The boy gagged, fell forward, and smacked his head on something hard. He cried out and pushed himself up, spitting mud and swamp water onto the ground. What had he bumped into? A giant tree root? That was all there was above the swamp. But what lay beneath it? Hard, smooth, and spherical like a huge egg. Curious, Kyle poked it. It didn't move. He prodded again, still nothing. Maybe it was some kind of new plant. Kyle knelt down and broke off a piece. It crunched between his teeth. The taste was bitter, definitely not a plant. As the boy stood up, something caught his eye. A flicker of movement in the tangled swamp grass ahead. Was it another member of his tribe? Had they come to rescue him? But why would they leave the safety of the island? Or maybe this was a trap? Could one of the monsters from the swamps have followed him here? Suddenly, the creature emerged from the grass. Only when it got closer did Kyle realize that it wasn't a person at all, but a strange animal unlike any he'd ever seen before. It was about the size of Kyle's pet lizard, but instead of scales, its skin was covered in soft, thick fur. Its eyes shone like polished amber. They stared at each other in silence for what felt like a long time, but was probably only a few seconds. Then the animal suddenly bolted back into the grass. Kyle wanted to run after it and find out what it was, but his legs felt heavy as if filled with stones. Instead, he turned away and slowly made his way back to the swamp. The air grew colder as he walked. When he looked back, the sliver of land had vanished behind a wall of black clouds and driving rain. Trapped, Kyle sank to his knees and closed his eyes. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the air. He opened his eyes and saw a bolt of lightning split the sky. Another clap of thunder followed. Kyle squeezed his eyes shut again. This wasn't a god, he whispered. It was just Ugg, but no, his pet lizard was nowhere to be found. Kyle sighed and slumped down next to the big root. Hunger gnawed at his stomach. He needed to get out of here. He missed the sweet tubers that his mother grew on their island. If only he could find some. Pulling out his survival knife, he cut away the vines that covered the root wall and climbed over it. Safe on the other side, he hurried across the swampland and plunged into the undergrowth. Kyle pushed aside branches and thorns and pushed on until he came upon a clearing. Relief flooded him. The forest was dense, dark, and damp, but here the sun shone through the trees, making colorful patches on the ground. In the distance, Kyle heard the gurgling of water. Following the sound, he soon came upon a small stream, and beyond it, something that made his heart skip a beat. Green shoots poked out of the ground, tubers. With trembling hands, Kyle dug them out of the soil. He pulled out a large one and peeled off the brown outer layer. Inside, soft flesh glistened white as milk. He bit into it and savored the sweet, starchy taste. Closing his eyes, Kyle leaned back against a tree and ate until he couldn't eat anymore. He wiped his mouth, suddenly aware of the sounds around him. Somewhere a bird called, a squirrel chattered in a tree. But another noise made the hair on Kyle's arms stand on end. Heavy footsteps crunching in the dry leaves. Fear jolted him to his feet, and he scanned the forest. What had made that noise? Kyle picked up his knife and took a step back. A twig snapped under his foot. Adrenaline surged through him, making his heart pound in his chest. The footsteps came closer. Kyle gripped his knife so tightly his knuckles turned white. Their big, dangerous eyes stared at him from between the trees. A low growl rumbled in the creature's throat. Kyle took a step back, but the ground gave way under his foot and he stumbled forward. The animal was upon him in a flash. It lunged, knocking the knife out of his hand. Kyle screamed and braced for impact, but it never came. Instead, he felt a rough tongue lapping his face. Confused, he looked up into the biggest, kindest eyes he'd ever seen. It was the friendliest animal Kyle had ever encountered. Tentatively, he reached out and stroked its soft fur. But suddenly, a high-pitched squeal tore through the trees. The animal froze and flattened its ears against its skull. Startled, Kyle stepped back. The newcomer emerged from the bushes. It was one of the strange swamp creatures Kyle had seen before, but this one was much bigger. Its eyes gleamed with cruel amusement. It bared its sharp teeth and snarled. Kyle gasped. Now he understood what this place was. This wasn't a part of the island where people lived. It was a hunting ground, and he had stumbled right into the middle of it. How did saber-toothed cats hunt their prey? Saber-toothed cats are often portrayed as mindless killing machines, big cats that lived in prehistoric times, all huge, ferocious, and deadly. But saber-toothed cats weren't all that big, though some species grew pretty massive. The Smilodon fatalis, also known as the saber-toothed cat, weighed about 250 to 300 kilograms and was 1.8 meters long, excluding its tail. Other species were smaller, such as the South American homotherium, which was about the size of a cougar. Although saber-toothed cats were neither uniformly huge nor unbeatable, they were undoubtedly powerful. Their most striking feature was their long, saber-shaped canines, which could reach 7 inches in length. The rest of their dentition consisted of strong shearing teeth, perfectly suited to slice through flesh. But saber-toothed cats didn't just rely on their teeth to kill their prey. Their paws were weapons too. In fact, their whole bodies were designed to take down large prey. We know very little about how saber-toothed cats moved, and whether they were fast runners or clumsy giants. However, we can make some educated guesses based on their skeletal structure. Saber-toothed cats were ambush predators. They probably preferred to sneak up on their prey rather than chase it down. In other words, they probably weren't built for speed. This strategy is still used today by big cats like tigers and cougars who lie in wait and surprise their prey. So, saber-toothed cats were ambush predators. Some scientists believe that they were also pack hunters, meaning they hunted in groups. Modern lions are the only big cats that hunt in groups. Lions live in prides, consisting of several adult females, their cubs, and 1 or 2 adult males. Pride is the only social structure in which felids cooperate while hunting. Although saber-toothed cats weren't lions, it's possible that they hunted like them. Groups of saber-toothed cats would work together to bring down large prey, with individuals taking turns chasing, grabbing, and biting the victim's hind legs, sides, or neck. This strategy would increase their chances of success, especially when hunting large mammals like mammoths, bison, or giant sloths. In addition to their speed, saber-toothed cats had another advantage. When attacking, they used their massive forelimbs to grab their victim and hold them down while their hind limbs slashed with those long canines, trying to get a quick kill. But that wouldn't always work. If their initial attack failed, they had to wait until their prey grew weak enough to die. To survive in this situation, saber-toothed cats needed a powerful grip. As soon as they grabbed their prey, they held on for dear life, biting and clawing until it succumbed to its wounds. Large prey like mammoths would bleed profusely from their wounds, eventually becoming too weak to rise again. Some saber-toothed cats probably stood over their prey as it struggled and waited for it to exhaust itself. Others may have kept their distance and stalked their prey until it finally collapsed. Either way, they knew how to be patient. Saber-toothed cats weren't just vicious killers. They were also intelligent strategists. We know this because some of them shared the same habitats as early humans. In some cases, these early humans were Neanderthals, our closest relatives. Both species hunted large game during the last ice age, and both use sophisticated tools and weapons. That means that in some areas, saber-toothed cats and early humans were direct competitors. In such situations, saber-toothed cats had to be clever. After all, early humans could plan ahead, coordinate complex hunts, use traps, and even reason their way out of dangerous situations. This required intelligence, something saber-toothed cats also possessed. The saber-toothed cat is a prime example of a predator perfectly adapted to its environment. No wonder it was one of the most successful hunters of all time. So, what do you think? Did saber-toothed cats stalk their prey, or did they use a different method of hunting? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Kale stumbled through the treacherous marshlands, his legs sinking into the sucking mud. The biting wind whipped across his face, carrying with it the icy breath of the endless glaciers that dominated this frozen wasteland. It was the height of the Ice Age, and every step he took threatened to be his last. Behind him, the small band of survivors from his tribe struggled to keep up. Their hopes of finding fertile lands to hunt and gather food were dwindling with each passing day. If they didn't find sustenance soon, they would surely perish in the unforgiving wilderness. Cale wiped the sweat from his brow, his eyes scanning the desolate landscape for any sign of relief. All around him, the thick, soupy mud swallowed their meager camp, forcing them further and further into the heart of this dangerous mire. But something glinted in the distance, a tiny glimmer of hope amidst the vast expanse of white. With renewed determination, he pushed on, driven by the instinct to survive and the desperate need to save his people. As he drew closer, the glimmer resolved itself into a small, dry island rising out of the murky waters like a lone sentinel. On its surface, Cale could make out a cluster of strange brown shapes poking through the ice, offering a tantalizing glimpse of potential salvation. With trembling hands, he reached out and grasped one of these shapes, pulling it from the ground. It yielded easily, revealing a small knobby tuber that looked like nothing he had ever seen before. Tentatively, he brought the tuber to his nose and inhaled deeply. A rich, earthy aroma filled his senses, stirring within him a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, they had found a new source of nourishment to sustain them through the harsh Ice Age winter. As the first rays of sunlight pierced through the thick clouds, illuminating the bleak landscape, Kyle and his tribe emerged from their makeshift shelters, their faces etched with exhaustion and despair. The relentless cold of the Ice Age had taken its toll on them, sapping their strength and draining their spirits. But there was no time to rest, no moment to spare. They had to keep moving, journeying deeper into the frozen wasteland in search of food and a place to call home. Hope, however, flickered like a fragile flame within them, refusing to be extinguished. And so they ventured forth, driven by the primal instincts of survival. Days turned into weeks, and the journey became a grueling test of endurance. The icy winds howled around them, biting through their meager clothing and threatening to freeze their very souls. The barren landscape offered no respite, no sign of life or sustenance. Just when their hope began to dwindle and despair threatened to consume them, they stumbled upon a sight that made their hearts leap with joy. There, rising out of the icy marsh like an ember in the frozen wasteland, was a small island, an oasis of life amidst the vast expanse of ice and snow. Driven by desperation and the faint promise of survival, they pressed on, eager to discover if this island held the key to their salvation. As they stepped onto the island, their eyes widened in disbelief. Before them lay a scene of untouched beauty and unexpected warmth. Nestled in the heart of the island was a small fire pit, and at its center, a half-burnt log still glowed with an otherworldly orange light, defying the surrounding ice and snow. It was a sight that seemed almost magical, a beacon of hope in the midst of their icy hell. But it was the discovery of the charred remains of tubers that truly ignited their wonder. These strange, knobby growths looked unlike anything they had ever seen before, yet they radiated a strange familiarity. Could these mysterious tubers hold the secret to survival, offering sustenance and warmth in the unforgiving embrace of the Ice Age? Overcome with curiosity and a desperate need for sustenance, they decided to follow these mysterious tracks. What they found next would change their lives forever. The footprints led them to a secluded part of the island, where the ground was strangely disturbed, as if something heavy had been dragged across it. Intrigued and slightly apprehensive, they parted the thick foliage, revealing a sight that left them awestruck. Half buried in the soft earth lay a large boulder, but it was not just any boulder. Etched across its surface were intricate markings that hinted at a purpose far beyond its imposing presence. The markings were not random, but rather formed into shapes that seemed to tell a story, depicting scenes of hunts, gatherings, and what appeared to be a strange, mesmerizing flame. As they gathered around the rock monolith, a sense of reverence and awe washed over them. They realized they were standing in the presence of something ancient and profound, a silent witness to a past that was shrouded in mystery. The rock monolith stood as a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of a people long gone, leaving them with a profound sense of connection to those who had come before. Driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, they carefully examined the engravings, searching for clues to the identity and way of life of the people who had created them. Each stroke etched into the stone revealed a piece of their culture, their beliefs, and their daily existence. It was as if the rock monolith itself was whispering stories of a forgotten past, inviting them to uncover the secrets it held. Hours turned into days as they meticulously documented the inscriptions, their minds racing with questions about the origins of these enigmatic symbols and the people who had crafted them. As they delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered patterns and connections that hinted at a complex society with a deep understanding of their environment and the world around them. The rock menthol became more than just an artifact. It evolved into a portal to the past, transporting them to a time when humans first began to explore the mysteries of the world around them. It was a humbling experience that reminded them of the vast span of human history and the countless generations that had shaped the course of their species. Yet as they marveled at the ingenuity of their ancestors, a nagging question lingered in the back of their minds. Who are these people? Where did they come from? And most importantly, what had become of them? Determined to find answers, they embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind the enigmatic rock monolith and the tribe that had created it. They scoured the surrounding areas, hoping to find additional evidence of their existence, piecing together fragments of their story and retracing their steps. Every new discovery brought them closer to understanding the complexities of the world their ancestors inhabited, and every clue fueled their determination to unravel the final pieces of the puzzle. Their journey led them to a hidden cave adorned with even more cryptic markings and symbols, suggesting that the tribe had possessed a deep understanding of the natural world and the forces that governed it. Inside the cave, they found remnants of tools and weapons, each one showcasing a level of craftsmanship that indicated a society far more advanced than their own. As they unearthed each artifact, they felt a growing sense of awe and wonder at the capabilities of their ancestors. Among the discoveries, one object stood out, a sharp, jagged rock that bore the unmistakable marks of human design. It was not just a simple tool, but a testament to the boundless curiosity and problem-solving abilities of the human mind. For the first time in their history, their people had discovered a weapon that could truly be called advanced, possessing a sharpness and precision that surpassed anything they had ever wielded before. It represented a leap forward in their evolution, a tool that would undoubtedly prove invaluable in their ongoing struggle for survival. With a new weapon in hand, they ventured forth, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with newfound confidence. The Ice Age raged on, but now they were better equipped to navigate its perils, all thanks to the legacy left behind by the enigmatic tribe. This is one of the most dramatic encounters ever witnessed in the wilderness. A mother lion finds her cub being attacked by a lone hyena, but while she rushes to help, she has no idea that lurking nearby, the bear dog has his eyes set on her cub too. So will this brave lioness be able to save her baby from these deadly foes? And what does it take for a lion to survive in today's world? Lions are well known to be the only cats that live in groups. Groups called prides. They are made up of several adult females, their cubs, and a few adult males. The females are related to each other, and they work together to defend their territory, hunt, and raise cubs. It's the males that usually take the lead. They are bigger than the females, so it's pretty easy for them to dominate the pride. But there is more to it than just brute strength, because if a male wants to join or even start his own pride, he needs to be able to convince the females to accept him. There are two ways a male can become leader of a pride. He can either take over an existing pride from another male, or he can start his own pride from scratch by recruiting females from neighboring prides. Either way, it's a risky strategy because if the male doesn't have enough support from the females, he can end up alone and without a pride. In fact, studies show that less than half of all male lions end up holding a pride position. That's why many male lions choose to live with their mothers' pride until they re old enough to take over from her or strike out on their own with a small group of unrelated males. These groups are called coalitions, and coalitions often rule over multiple prides. Each coalition member has a different role, such as recruiting new members, patrolling the borders, or looking after the cubs. Even though they share females, each male still needs to build a strong relationship with the females in order to keep them happy and loyal. To do this, they rub against them, groom them, and gently bite their neck and back. This may seem like a sign of aggression, but in reality, it's a very important part of communicating with other lions. Lions rely heavily on visual and auditory cues to communicate. Visual cues include ear position, tail movements, and facial expressions, while auditory cues include growling, roaring, and even coughing. All of these behaviors serve an important purpose in establishing dominance within a pride. Roaring is perhaps the most iconic of all lion vocalizations, and despite its fearsome reputation, researchers believe it serves a variety of important functions. First and foremost, roaring helps lions maintain their dominance within their territory. By broadcasting their presence, lions can warn off potential rivals and keep their territory free of intruders. But roaring isn't just about scaring away the competition. It also plays a crucial role in keeping the pride cohesive. Lions use a variety of roars to communicate with each other, such as when they are alarmed or when they are greeting each other. By staying in close contact with each other through their roars, lions can maintain a sense of unity and cohesion within the pride. This is especially important when the pride is out hunting or defending their territory, as it allows them to coordinate their efforts and take on challenges as a team. But a pride's roar can travel up to 5 miles. And while the sound may be hard to detect through all that distance, its effect on surrounding wildlife is clear. When a lion roars, anything that hears it knows that it means business. And if there are any predators around, they know better than to mess with this powerful cat. One study found that the average size of a lion's territory is about 1,500 square miles. That's roughly the size of Los Angeles. The researchers estimated this by using GPS technology to track the movements of lions over several months. During that time, the lions were found to roam over a large area, which was then used to calculate the size of their territory. However, the exact size of a lioness territory can vary widely depending on factors such as prey availability and habitat quality. In areas where prey is abundant, lions may be able to make do with a smaller territory, whereas in areas where prey is scarce, lions may need to roam over a larger area in order to find enough food. But regardless of its size, a lion's territory is an essential part of its life. It provides the lion with the resources it needs to survive, including food, water, and shelter. It also gives the lion a place to raise its cubs and protect them from predators. If a rival lion happens to invade their turf, a pride will quickly let them know that they are not welcome. While young cubs stay behind, the rest of the pride will gather at the border and send out a warning call. The intruders will hear this and hopefully decide to move along. But if they refuse, things can get violent. As soon as the intruder steps into the territory, the pride will attack. They will swarm over him, biting and clawing, until he is forced to flee. Once the coast is clear, the pride will return to their normal activities. In order to mark their territory, lions use scent glands located near their paws and anuses. They also leave behind visual cues, such as scratches on trees. These markings serve to communicate with other lions and let them know that this is their space. But for lions, territorial behavior isn't just about protecting their home turf. It's also an important part of finding food. Lions are apex predators, which means they sit at the top of the food chain in their ecosystem. This gives them the power to hunt down and eat pretty much anything they want. But with great power comes great responsibility. Lions need to defend their territory from other predators in order to keep their food source safe. Fortunately, lions are up to the task. They are fierce hunters with sharp claws and teeth that they use to take down prey. They also have incredible speed and agility, which they use to their advantage when chasing down their prey. On average, lions eat around 10 pounds of meat per day. That's a lot of food. But it's important to remember that lions are big cats. They need a lot of energy to stay active and healthy. Plus, when you're at the top of the food chain, you gotta eat like a king. Now, you might be thinking that all this talk about food makes me sound greedy, but that's not the case. Sharing food is an important part of being a lion. Lions are social creatures who live in groups called prides. And when you live in a pride, you gotta take care of each other. That's why lions will often bring food back to the pride, even if they don't need to eat anymore. It's their way of saying, hey, I got us some food, let's eat together. Now, you might be wondering why lions bother bringing food back to the pride when they could just eat it themselves. Well, it's simple. Lions are family animals, and they take care of each other. Bringing food back to the pride ensures that everyone has enough to eat, including the cubs. Plus, eating together is a great way to bond as a family. Lions hunt in groups, usually with a few females and their cubs. The females do most of the work, chasing and catching the prey, while the cubs learn how to hunt by watching them. Sometimes the males participate too. Lions are ambush predators, meaning they wait until they are close to their prey before making a move. They will often take down large animals such as zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo. Once the prey is captured, the lion will quickly eat the heart and lungs, as these are the most nutrient-rich parts of the animal. The rest of the carcass is saved for later. Lions are scavengers by nature and will often eat leftover carcasses left behind by other predators. This is a great way for them to save energy and still get a nutritious meal. Lions are well adapted to survive in a variety of habitats, from grasslands to deserts. Their thick fur coat keeps them warm in cold weather, and their large paws help them walk on hot sand. Despite their impressive adaptations, lions face a number of threats in the wild. Habitat loss due to human activity is one of the biggest problems. This can make it difficult for lions to find food and raise cubs. Lions are also often killed by humans who see them as a threat to livestock or human life. Poachers also pose a serious threat to lions, as they are often targeted for their fur and body parts, which can be sold on the black market. Now watch how a lone lion fights off a bear dog. Or check out this lion jumps on a crocodile's tail. What happens next is genius. Every day we marvel at the incredible feats of animals in their natural habitats. But what about the wild animals that live among us? Welcome to the concrete jungle, where survival is a daily adventure and adapting to city life is key to thriving. Today, we will witness the amazing skills and resilience of urban wildlife as they navigate the challenges of living in a concrete jungle. From the tiniest insects to the most majestic birds, each creature has its own unique story to tell. So let's embark on this eye-opening journey and discover the hidden heroes of our cities. In the bustling metropolis, where towering buildings scrape the sky and the symphony of car horns fills the air, there exists a secret society of nocturnal navigators. Hedgehogs, those prickly yet endearing creatures, have found a way to thrive in the urban sprawl. With their sturdy spines and natural armor, they fearlessly venture out into the concrete wilderness, braving the perilous roads with astonishing ease. Equipped with exceptional night vision, these tiny adventurers navigate the maze of traffic, dodging zooming vehicles and darting across bustling intersections. Their compact size and agility enable them to squeeze into the tightest of spaces, finding refuge in garden nooks or under parked cars. Unfazed by the cacophony of city life, hedgehogs forage for food, utilizing their keen sense of smell to sniff out delectable treats in the most unexpected places. From snuffling through fallen leaves to rummaging in compost heaps, they uncover culinary treasures that sustain them through the night. As the sun rises and the city awakens, these resilient creatures retreat to the safety of their daytime hideouts, emerging once again when the moon takes its place in the velvet sky. They are true survivors, perfectly adapted to conquer the concrete jungle. And if you thought city life was tough for these little guys, wait until you hear how raccoons take on the big city trash cans. These mass bandits are not your average urban dwellers. Raccoons have evolved into dexterous daredevils, raiding garbage bins with unmatched skill and precision. Their nimble paws and intelligence know no bounds as they effortlessly open latches and maneuver lids, unearthing culinary delights that await inside. With their innate curiosity and problem-solving abilities, raccoons become urban explorers, seeking out new food sources and conquering uncharted territories within the city limits. No trash can is safe from their curious snouts, and they've even devised clever strategies to outsmart motion-activated defenses. Whether it's turning off lights or waiting patiently until coast is clear, raccoons demonstrate remarkable adaptability and resourcefulness in their quest for urban foraging. They truly are the trash can acrobats of the city, leaving us in awe of their cunning ways. But if you think that's impressive, just wait till you see how pigeons rule the concrete skies. These feathered overlords have taken to the urban landscape like fish to water, soaring above the city's hustle and bustle with unmatched grace. Pigeons have become masters of adaptation, thriving in the concrete skies of bustling metropolises. With their powerful wings, they navigate the urban canyons effortlessly, using buildings and wires as their own personal zip lines. Their keen eyesight and ability to travel long distances make them efficient delivery services, finding the best food sources and sharing the intel with fellow pigeons through an intricate system of coos and gestures. Pigeons have also developed impressive homing instincts, guiding them back to their roosts every evening, where they gather in large flocks, sharing stories of their aerial adventures. In this concrete jungle, they truly are the kings and queens of the sky, ruling over the urban landscape with their aerial prowess. But while these creatures have shown remarkable adaptability and survival skills, they also face numerous challenges in this ever-changing environment. From the threat of cars and pollution to the loss of natural habitats, urban wildlife must constantly adapt and innovate to survive. It is a testament to their resilience and adaptability that they continue to thrive in such inhospitable conditions. And it is precisely this resilience and adaptability that allow them to not only survive but also thrive in these challenging environments. Over time, they have developed ingenious strategies to overcome obstacles and ensure their survival. For example, some species have altered their behavior, such as nocturnal habits or new foraging techniques, to avoid the dangers of daytime activity in busy city centers. Others have modified their diet, learning to feed on readily available urban resources like human food waste or introduced species. Some urban wildlife have even adopted their appearance, becoming more cryptic or developing camouflage patterns that help them blend into the urban surroundings, reducing their visibility to predators. These adaptations are not only crucial for their survival, but also highlight the incredible plasticity and adaptability of life itself. Urban wildlife showcases how species can evolve and change in response to new environments and challenges. Studying these adaptations not only helps us understand how these animals survive, but also provides valuable insights into the broader processes of evolution and ecology. Moreover, understanding the adaptations of urban wildlife is essential for our coexistence with these animals. By recognizing the changes they have made to survive in urban areas, we can better predict how they might respond to future environmental changes. This knowledge is vital for conservation efforts, allowing us to develop strategies that help urban wildlife thrive while also addressing the needs of the human population. The adaptability of urban wildlife serves as a reminder of the incredible power of nature to overcome challenges. It inspires us to find innovative solutions to our own problems and encourages us to coexist with the natural world in a more harmonious and sustainable way. As we delve deeper into the lives of these remarkable creatures, we'll uncover the heartwarming moments of human-animal coexistence. From heartwarming friendships to acts of kindness, we'll witness the beauty of our connection with the natural world. Join us as we explore the inspiring stories of urban wildlife and discover the importance of protecting these hidden heroes in our midst. In the bustling heart of a vibrant city, where towering skyscrapers touch the clouds, there lived a family of foxes. These cunning creatures had made their home in the labyrinthine network of alleys and rooftops, thriving in the urban jungle. One crisp autumn evening, a young vixen ventured out from her den in search of food. As she tiptoed through the moonlit streets, her keen senses detected the aroma of freshly baked bread wafting from a nearby bakery. With a playful spirit, she dashed across the road, narrowly avoiding the traffic, and made her way to the source of the delectable scent. Unbeknownst to her, a kind-hearted baker had left a window open, and there, on the counter, lay a freshly baked loaf of bread, cooling down before distribution. The vixen, unable to resist the temptation, leaped onto the counter and devoured a slice of the warm bread. Her heart swelled with gratitude for this unexpected treat, and she scurried back to her den, licking her chops in delight. This delightful episode became a nightly ritual for the vixen, who would visit the bakery and enjoy a slice of fresh bread before returning home. The baker, touched by the fox's charm and persistence, took it upon himself to leave out a special treat each night, ensuring that the little fox and her family never went hungry. Thus, an extraordinary bond formed between the urban fox family and the compassionate baker, symbolizing the beautiful harmony that can exist between humans and wildlife in an urban setting. In the concrete expanse of the city, where human dwellings dominate the landscape, there existed a small community of gray squirrels. These nimble creatures had ingeniously adapted to life among the towering buildings and bustling streets. To escape the danger of cars and the noise of the city, the gray squirrels had discovered a sanctuary atop the tallest tree in a nearby park. Here, amidst the lush canopy, they had built their homes, creating cozy nests of twigs and leaves to raise their young. Life was good for these urban squirrels, and they thrived in their concrete jungle paradise. However, their peaceful existence was threatened when one particular harsh winter arrived, blanketing the city in snow and ice. Food became scarce, and the gray squirrels struggled to find sustenance for themselves and their families. Just when hope seemed lost, a group of school children from a nearby school came to the rescue. Touched by the plight of the gray squirrels, they organized a campaign to provide food and care for the animals during the harsh winter. Every day, the children would climb the tall tree and distribute nuts and seeds to the grateful squirrels, ensuring that they had the nourishment they needed to survive the freezing temperatures. Moved by the children's compassion and determination, the local community rallied together to support the cause. Residents donated food and supplies, and animal welfare organizations provided guidance and assistance. Together, they created a network of care that saved the gray squirrels from starvation and ensured their survival throughout the winter. As the weather began to warm and the snow melted away, the gray squirrels emerged from their icy ordeal, healthier and stronger than ever before. The community, as acts of kindness and unity, had forged a deep bond between the humans and the animals, creating a heartwarming tale of compassion and interspecies connection in the heart of the city. The adaptability of urban wildlife is a testament to the incredible resilience and tenacity of life itself. These animals demonstrate the ability to not only survive, but thrive in environments that were not naturally suited to their needs. By understanding the challenges they face and the adaptations they have developed, we can learn valuable lessons about the power of adaptation and the importance of coexistence with wildlife in our increasingly urban world. So let us celebrate these urban pioneers, the brave animals that have conquered the concrete jungle and continue to inspire us with their tenacity, ingenuity, and unwavering spirit. The agricultural revolution, also known as the Neolithic Revolution, was a significant period in human history that marked a shift from nomadic hunter-gatherer societies to settled agricultural communities. This transformation began around 10,000 years ago and had a profound impact on human civilization, laying the foundation for many of the characteristics we associate with modern society. Let's explore the key aspects of this revolution and its lasting legacy. The transition from hunting and gathering to agriculture was a gradual process that occurred independently in different parts of the world. One of the earliest known centers of domestication was the Fertile Crescent, an arc-shaped region in the Middle East encompassing parts of present-day Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel. Here, humans began to cultivate crops such as wheat and barley and domesticate animals like sheep and goats. This allowed for a more reliable and abundant food supply compared to the unpredictable yields of hunting and gathering. As agriculture developed, people started to live in permanent settlements instead of moving with their herds or in search of food. Villages became the norm, and these communities were typically built near the cultivated fields or domesticated animals. Permanent settlements allowed for the construction of more substantial and durable dwellings, often made from mud brick or stone. These structures provided better protection from the elements and could accommodate larger families and communities. The stability of settled life also encouraged people to invest in their immediate surroundings, such as building granaries to store surplus food or establishing communal spaces for social gatherings. In fact, it was the reliable food surplus that came with agriculture that led to another significant change: population growth. As agricultural techniques improved and the food supply became more abundant, death rates decreased and the human population began to grow rapidly. This surge in population led to the formation of larger and more complex social structures, as communities needed to organize themselves to manage the increased size and diversity of their food supply. The abundance of food also freed some members of society from the constant need to gather sustenance, allowing them to specialize in other activities. Specialization of labor is one of the hallmarks of modern societies, and it emerged during the agricultural revolution. With a reliable food supply, not everyone needed to be a farmer. Some individuals could dedicate themselves to crafts such as pottery, weaving, or metalworking. Others might engage in trade, either within their communities or with neighboring settlements. This specialization led to the creation of goods that were not directly related to food production and allowed for the development of skills and professions. Moreover, specialization fostered competition and eventually cooperation among communities, laying the groundwork for more complex economic systems. Another significant outcome of the agricultural revolution was the rise of civilizations. The food surplus generated by agricultural societies supported a portion of the population that did not engage in farming. These non-farming individuals could then pursue specialized roles, such as artisans, traders, or religious leaders. As communities grew and the division of labor intensified, social classes emerged, leading to the development of cities, organized governance, and monumental architecture. For example, the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley all arose during or shortly after the agricultural revolution and owed their existence to the surplus of food that agriculture provided. During the agricultural revolution, a new social hierarchy began to take shape. The concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few individuals led to the emergence of elites who controlled vast tracts of land and resources. A new class of warriors also emerged, initially serving a function of protecting agricultural communities from external threats. As societies grew, they took on more administrative tasks, maintaining order and enforcing laws. The concept of private ownership of land also emerged, where certain individuals or families had exclusive rights to cultivate and use specific plots of land. This ownership, however, was often tied to the labor of the people who worked the land. So while a class of landowners emerged, so did a class of farmers and laborers who directly produced the agricultural surplus. Additionally, as settlements grew into cities and social structures became more complex, a need for religious authority arose. Religious leaders or priests emerged to oversee rituals, interpret the will of the gods, and maintain the sanctity of important sites. These changes in social structure laid the foundation for the stratified societies that would become more prominent in later civilizations. One of the most significant impacts of the agricultural revolution was the innovation and knowledge that it fostered. The settled lifestyle and specialization of labor allowed individuals to observe and study their environment more closely, leading to advancements in various fields. For instance, farmers developed sophisticated tools and techniques to improve their yields, while those specializing in crafts experimented with new materials and designs. The surplus food and security it provided also gave people the time and resources to pursue intellectual pursuits and scientific inquiries. This concentration of knowledge and innovation eventually led to advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, laying the groundwork for future scientific revolutions. Moreover, the agricultural revolution facilitated trade and commerce. The production of food surpluses not only supported non-farming populations, but also created opportunities for trade with other communities. Farmers with excess goods could exchange them for goods they needed but did not produce, such as tools, textiles, or finished metals. This exchange fostered the development of economic systems and networks that connected different societies. As trade routes expanded, the exchange of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices also increased, contributing to the diffusion of innovations and the interconnectedness of communities. The growth of trade and commerce during the agricultural revolution laid the foundation for the complex market systems and global trade networks that characterize modern economies. Finally, the agricultural revolution serves as the foundation of modern society. In fact, almost everything about the way we live today can be traced back to the changes brought about by farming. From the rise of cities and nation-states to the specialization of labor and the division of society into different classes, it was the agricultural surplus that made all of this possible. The adoption of farming allowed humans to settle in one place, produce reliable food supplies, and support a growing population. This shift also led to advancements in technology, the emergence of complex social structures, and the growth of trade networks. The agricultural revolution truly marks a pivotal chapter in human history, setting the stage for the civilizations and societies that followed. Its impact continues to resonate today, as agriculture remains a fundamental pillar of our world. The agricultural revolution refers to a significant period in human history when humans transitioned from being nomadic hunter-gatherers to living in settled agricultural communities. This transformation had profound impacts on human societies, shaping our social structures, technological advancements, and ways of life. While the advantages of settling down and raising crops are numerous, there are also potential disadvantages. For instance, reliance on a single geographic location for food production increased vulnerability to factors like droughts or floods. Additionally, the transition to agriculture often led to deforestation and environmental degradation, as large areas were cleared for farming and grazing. Moreover, Settled communities could become more susceptible to diseases and health issues due to closer proximity to animals and potential dietary deficiencies. The agricultural revolution was a turning point in human history, marking a move from a nomadic to a settled lifestyle. It led to population growth, specialization of labor, the rise of civilizations, and advancements in knowledge. Agriculture also facilitated trade, fostering economic growth and cultural exchanges. Ultimately, the agricultural revolution laid the foundation for modern society, shaping our world in profound ways. As we look to the future, it is essential to learn from both the successes and challenges of this era to ensure sustainable and equitable practices for generations to come. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and sharing it with others who might be interested. Your support helps us continue producing informative content on history and other topics. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our latest videos. We have a lot more interesting historical topics coming up, and we hope you will join us on this journey through time. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. The sun may have set on our surface world, but it's just another ordinary day here in my underwater colony. We wake up to the gentle glow of our bioluminescent lighting system that is housed within the pressurized walls of our habitat pods. I always start my mornings by checking our oxygen levels and water filtration systems. Thankfully, this equipment has been working overtime since we lost our lifeboat several months ago, but it seems to be holding up well so far. Our habitat is designed to withstand the intense pressures of the deep sea. The transparent domes of our living quarters offer an unobstructed view of the amazing marine life that surrounds us. Out of my window, I can see schools of colorful fish darting between the coral heads, while graceful manta rays glide past. Bioluminescent plankton light up the water around them like a magical display of fireworks. It never ceases to amaze me how beautiful the underwater world is, especially after spending so much time in our own little bubble. I'm not sure what's out there anymore, but I can't imagine anything is as pretty as this. As the sun rises above the waves above us, it's time for our morning chores. Our colony relies on the kelp and algae that grow in our underwater gardens to sustain us. So we all pitch in to harvest these crops and process them into a usable form. Kelp forests are one of the most productive ecosystems on Earth. And now that we've gotten the hang of cultivating these underwater farms, we have more than enough to feed everyone in our colony. The rhythmic crunch of processing kelp is soon replaced by the whirring of drills and welding torches. Maintaining our life support equipment and repairing damage to our habitats are essential for our survival. Since moving underwater, we've been forced to learn new skills and trades. Almost every piece of equipment we brought with us from the surface has broken down at some point, so we had to learn how to fix them ourselves or make do without. Fortunately, we came prepared with tools and parts for the most critical items, but we're getting low on some key supplies. Our community gathers around the central fire chamber. For many of us, this is the heart of our colony. Not only does it provide much needed warmth, but it's also a place where we come together to share stories, plan our days, and just enjoy each other's company. Today is no different. I settle onto a nearby rock and watch the flames dance in the center of the room. Their flickering light reflects in the water-filled viewing chambers around us, creating an otherworldly ambience. A group of kids huddle close to the warmth, their faces illuminated by the fire. As they share spooky stories about the surface world, I can't help but smile. They're learning about life before the flood, about the world we once called home. It's important that we keep these memories alive, that we pass down the stories of the surface world, so that future generations don't forget what was lost. It's also a way to stay connected to our past, to remember why we're doing everything we can to survive. As the evening wears on, the younger members of our community take their turn around the fire. They listen intently as the elders share their knowledge of underwater navigation and survival skills. It's crucial that we teach them how to thrive in this new environment, how to find food, maintain our equipment, and defend themselves against any threats that may arise. The future of our colony depends on their ability to adapt and learn. As the youngest members of our community drift off to sleep, their dreams are filled with images of the underwater world. Some dream of giant squid and other mysterious creatures that dwell in the darkest depths. Others dream of coral castles and underwater gardens filled with colorful fish. Whatever their dreams may be, we know that the future of our colony rests in the hands of these young ones. The next morning, we wake to the sound of drills and molding torches. It's time for another round of maintenance. We gather in the central fire chamber, sipping warm water to start the day. Someone has a fresh pot of algae tea, and the steam swirls around us like a comforting fog. It's times like these that I miss the simplicity of a hot cup of coffee, but we do what we can with what we have. The warmth of the fire mingles with the savory smell of frying kelp. It reminds me of bacon cooking at a cabin in the woods. As I eat, I watch families playing games and working together to prepare the day's meals. Laughter echoes through the halls, chasing away any lingering sadness. Even though our lives have been turned upside down, we're still human. We still find joy in the simple things, in the warmth of a fire, the taste of a good meal, and the company of friends and family. With full stomachs and renewed energy, we tackle the day's tasks. Some head out to harvest more kelp and algae. Others work on repairing damaged equipment or reinforcing the structure of our habitat. It's a slow process, but we're making progress. Each task brings us one step closer to self-sufficiency. As the sun begins its slow descent, casting long shadows across the ocean floor, we gather once again in the central fire chamber. We share stories of our day, talking about the challenges we faced and the triumphs we celebrated. There's a sense of camaraderie here, a feeling of togetherness that gives me hope for the future of our colony. But there are moments when the weight of our situation presses down on me, when the silence of the deep sea is broken only by the sound of my own breathing. I think about the world we left behind, about the lives we once lived. There's a part of me that misses the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair, the sound of birds singing in the trees. Sometimes I dream of snow falling softly to the ground, covering everything in a blanket of white. I dream of fireplaces roaring with warmth and laughter echoing through cozy rooms. But these are just dreams. Here in the underwater colony, the flames in the central fire chamber flicker and dance, casting long shadows on the walls. The gentle hum of conversation fills the space, punctuated by bursts of laughter. A small group of children huddle close to the fire, their eyes wide with wonder as an elder tells stories of the surface world. I watch them, a small smile touching my lips. They're learning about life before the flood, about the world we once knew. It's important to keep these memories alive, to pass down the stories of the surface world so that future generations don't forget what was lost. It's also a way to stay connected to our past, to remember why we're doing everything we can to survive. As the hours pass, more and more people gather around the fire. We talk about the events of the day, the challenges we faced, and the triumphs we celebrated. There's a sense of community here, a feeling of togetherness that gives me hope for the future of our colony. We're not just surviving, we're thriving. We're building a new life here in the underwater colony. We may have lost everything we once held dear, but we've gained something new, something that binds us together like never before. We found hope in the darkest depths, strength in the face of adversity, and most importantly, each other. The next day, we set out to explore further into the uncharted territories of the deep ocean. With each passing day, we venture deeper, seeking new resources and undiscovered wonders. The ocean is vast and mysterious, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what it has to offer. As we dive into the inky blackness, I can't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with a healthy dose of fear. What will we find down there? Will we discover new life forms or ancient ruins left over from a time before the flood? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure though, we're in this together. We're a community bound by our shared experiences, our hopes, and our dreams for the future. We're the survivors of the Great Flood, and we're writing a new chapter in human history. This underwater colony may not be the world we once knew, but it's ours, and we're determined to make it our home. Have you ever wanted something so bad that you risked everything to get it? That's what the snowman did. His name was Toby, and he lived on a hill with his family and friends. They were all happy there. Life was good. But Toby wasn't. He felt incomplete. There was something missing from his life, but he didn't know what it was. One night, while gazing at the stars, Toby asked his father, "Dad, what's beyond those stars? Are there other hills like ours over there?" "Yes, son," replied his father. "And over there lies the biggest and most beautiful lake in the world. It's warm and inviting. You can swim in it and even sail on it." This sparked curiosity in Toby. He began questioning everything about the lake. Is it really that amazing? Can you touch it? Is it true what they say, that if you take a handful of its water and throw it up in the air, it stays in your hand like a ball of fire? His dad just smiled. "You want to see it for yourself, don't you? Go then. I won't stop you." And Toby knew in his heart that his father was right. He had to go. He packed some food and water for the journey, got into his warmest coat and hat, and set off down the hill. As he walked, Toby met other snowmen who had heard stories about the magical lake and were also going there. Soon, they became friends and decided to travel together. One of them, a wise old snowman named Wesley, told them, "The road to the lake is long and hard. We'll need more than just our strength to get there. We'll need courage, kindness, and a lot of patience." Toby thought, "I'm sure we'll be fine. It's just a walk in the park." But as they continued on, he realized that it wasn't going to be easy. First, they came across a frozen river. "Oh no, how are we going to cross this?" cried one of the snowmen. Toby stepped forward. "Don't worry, I'll figure something out." He looked around and saw a log nearby. "Come on, guys, let's push it into the river. We can use it as a bridge." They all pushed the log into the river until it reached the other side. Then they started crossing one by one. When Toby was almost at the end, he slipped and fell into the freezing cold water. "Help!" he cried, but the others couldn't reach him. Just when he thought he was doomed, a polar bear waddled by. Seeing Toby in trouble, she quickly swam over and pulled him out of the water. "Thank you," said Toby. "I'm so grateful you saved me." The polar bear smiled. "No problem. I'm on my way to the lake too. Why don't you come with me? I know a shortcut." So they all followed the polar bear through the forest. It was getting late and Toby was tired, hungry, and cold. The polar bear noticed and said, "Let's set up camp here for the night. We can start early tomorrow and reach the lake before sunset." Toby was grateful for her help. They built a fire and sat around it, roasting marshmallows and telling stories. The next morning, they hit the road again. As they walked, they came across a field full of snowdrifts. "Wow, this is amazing," exclaimed one of the snowmen. "How are we supposed to get through all this?" asked another. Suddenly, a bluebird landed on Toby's shoulder and said, "If you want to cross the field, you'll need to find the key to unlock the drifts." "What key?" asked Toby. "The key to the north wind," replied the bluebird. Only the north wind knows where the key is hidden. Just then, the wind began to blow, swirling around them. "Can someone please tell me where to find the key?" shouted Toby against the wind. The north wind stopped and a voice boomed. "Whoever wants to cross my field must first answer my riddle." "Okay," said Toby. "Ask away." "I have no voice, yet I speak to you. I have no body, yet I dance in the sky. I have no hands, yet I can move mountains. What am I? Toby thought for a moment. Are you the sun? The north wind laughed. Correct. You may cross my field. And with that, the wind disappeared. Toby and his friends walked across the field. The sun shone brightly above them, warming their bodies and filling them with energy. Toby felt like he'd keep walking forever. But after a while, they came across a huge mountain that blocked their path. Oh, great, said one of the snowmen. How are we supposed to climb all the way to the top? It's too steep. Toby looked around and saw some caves at the base of the mountain. Let's ask the mountain goats that live there if they can help us. The goats were friendly and agreed to lead them over the mountain. We know a secret passage that will take us to the other side, said one of the goats. It's not too far now. Just a little further and the lake will be in sight. At last, Toby and his friends reached the top of the mountain. Before them lay the most beautiful sight they had ever seen. The sun was setting over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and purple. In the distance, they could see the sparkling waters of the lake. I can't believe it, whispered Toby. It's even more amazing than my dad told me. The lake shimmered like 1,000 diamonds under the setting sun. Its waters were warm and inviting. Toby took off his coat and hat and jumped in. The water felt so good on his skin. He swam around, laughing and playing with the other snowmen. After a while, they all gathered around a bonfire on the shore. They roasted marshmallows, sang songs, and told stories. Toby felt a sense of belonging and happiness he had never felt before. He knew in his heart that he was exactly where he was meant to be. In the distance, the tribe watched from atop a high cliff. They had been searching for Toby for days, but couldn't find him anywhere. Suddenly, they saw a fire on the beach below. Curious, they crept closer to get a better look. What they saw made them gasp in surprise. Toby and his friends were gathered around the fire, their faces bathed in soft glow. Relief washed over the tribe as they saw Toby. Safe and sound, they raced down the cliff to reunite with him. When they arrived, Toby was telling a story about his adventures. The others listened intently, hanging on every word. When he finished, his mom rushed over and hugged him tightly. Oh, Toby, we were so worried about you. Where have you been? I went to see the lake, said Toby. It's amazing. You have to see it for yourself, his mom smiled. We will, Toby, we will. The tribe spent the rest of the day at the lake. They swam, played, and picnicked on the beach. When the sun began to set, they gathered around a bonfire and roasted marshmallows. The older snowmen told stories of their own adventures, while the younger ones listened intently. Toby sat next to his mom, feeling warm and content. He knew in his heart that he was home. The next morning, the tribe packed up their things and headed back. They had seen the wonders of the lake and were ready to return home. As they walked, they talked about all the amazing things they had seen and done. Toby was happy to be going home, but he knew he would never forget his adventures at the lake. From that day on, Toby was a changed snowman. He was braver, more curious, and open-minded. He had learned that even though life may be tough sometimes, it's always worth it to follow your dreams. The tribe all learned from Toby's journey, realizing that sometimes you have to take risks in life to truly be happy. They faced their fears, trusted each other, and never gave up hope. As a result, they achieved something truly special, a deeper connection with each other, and a newfound appreciation for the world around them.